all explanation is elegy. If we would imagine texts as a set of systems with a complex unfolding akin to that of an environment, or rather an ensemble of environments, that is, a landscape, ultimately a world, we might ask whether the loss of an individual text, even of species, localities, and whole histories of texts, could have the salutary effect that fires can have for forests. If we were to apply the processes of elision and selection, of veiling and revealing that are practiced by poets, for instance, in what has come to be recognized as a contemporary genre and typically labeled with the inapt term erasure, to the corpus of a literature as a whole, might we engender a powerful and beautiful understanding, a healthy forest of works and readings? Or would we merely emulate the compositional effects of a life lived through endlessly mutating limitations? He carried me home. Carried me in from the car. Asleep or pretending to be. She carried me. As she'd carried my sister. He carried me. He let me carry him. When you carry me, when I carry you, then we're carried away. Okay. So I have one more piece. We can have lights again. I'm going to just leave the screen there, even though it's a little distracting. This piece is a collaboration with the book artist Catherine Keene. And I always say, in all seriousness, that I consider myself not the author, but the steward of this piece. It's just my job to carry it around and to show it to people and to read it. You'll see why. And I encourage everyone to come and take a look at this object after the reading. It's a memorial to a friend, and well, otherwise it's self-explanatory. The title is Threnos, which is a Greek word that means lament or song of mourning. It survives in English in threnody. Threnos, in memoriam, Rose Krupczynski, 1941-2000. Rose, the rose of the rose, richness of the rose, manifold richness of the rose, and manifold, full, the full, revealing the full shots, revealing the full, beautiful shots, revealing the full, selected, has selected, photographer has selected, where a photographer has selected every lovers, every rose lovers, every of rose lovers, every plots of rose lovers, every gardens, rose gardens, gardens, rose gardens, botanical gardens, rose gardens in, are roses? They are wild roses. They are like wild roses. They are and like are, they are, which they are, from which they are strains, from which they are ladder, the latter growth, the latter opulent growth, the latter and opulent growth, intense flowers, intense petaled flowers, intense many petaled flowers, intense 1900 to 1900, previous to 1900, bred previous to 1900, old, bred previous to 1900, from modern distinguishes modern, horticulture distinguishes modern, today's horticulture, number without number, strains without number, create strains without number, crossing roses, crossing of roses, crossing, breeding of roses, crossing, the breeding of, have lovers, have rose lovers, have since rose lovers, have ever since rose lovers have blooms, coveted blooms, the coveted blooms of the coveted blooms, supply of the coveted built and built purposes, and built medicinal purposes, and built for medicinal purposes, domesticate. Romans domesticate the Romans, domesticate, attest the Romans, domesticate as the rose, as the rose, as the praised the rose, as the, who praised the rose? Such sources, such as sources such ago, as sources such years ago, as sources such full roses, a full cultivated roses, a full Greeks cultivated roses, a full ancient ages, the ages, down the ages, artists down the ages, and artists down the ages have, and they have immemorial, and they have time immemorial, and they love, symbol of love them, a symbol of love made them a symbol. Thank you very much.